Right, we're back. This is at 15 minutes mixing. I'm just going to knock this off. And it's got quite a stretch on it. I'm not going to pull the door hook out, but it's on the wet side, certainly on the sticky side, which is good because that will give us a better result at the end. So what we're going to do now at this stage is we're going to put our fruit in. So I've got some sultanas, and I'm going to put in 200 grams of sultanas. I think this is more authentic. I'll just grab a pair of scissors. More the authentic fruit. Yeah, don't drop your cutlery on the floor. But if you wanted to put something else in, if you wanted to throw like sultanas, you like raisins or whatever, you would just go for it. But let's get 200 grams of these in. See where we go. And I'm going to sneak in, because I like to, something I put in with the other ones, the tea cakes. There's a bit of this mixed pale. Now I know I put zest in there, but it's a sort of a different flavour. It is a bit zesty, but it's candied zest. So I'm going to put about 25 grams in there, ish. A bit more, won't matter. Another 30 grams, slightly less. But that's all good. And I'm going to mix that for just a minute or so. I'm going to tidy the mess, and then we'll pull it out of the mixer, and we'll get our dough in the bowl, which is exactly what we want. Let's have a little tea towel for my hands, because I know I'm going to need one of those. There we go, get that away, get this away. And if you can, just tidy as you go around. It makes life so much easier, rather than end up just with an absolute pile of junk that you've got to sift through and sort out. And once you get into a mess, things never go right. So how are we doing? It's about a minute in there. Yeah, that'll do us. So as you see, it's quite a sticky dough. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just clean that dough hook off. And I've said this before, the only reason I'm kind of making sure I do that isn't to get every last bit of dough off it, in terms of just, not wasting. It's just for the cleaning when it goes in the dishwasher. It doesn't like it as much. So, here we are. All I'm going to do now is scrape the thick off my fingers, and then I'm going to give them a little wipe and move this machine, because then I'll have some room to do this, which we need. So here we go. Let's just take that. And like I say, if you don't clean your fingers, you're only going to make a mess of your machine, which you're going to then have to clean. So it just saves a job, doesn't it? So I've got a bowl, a 2 litre bowl with a little bit of oil in the base, just olive oil. It doesn't really matter what you put in, just as long as it's a neutral oil, and it's just to prevent slipping, that's all. And we're going to just get this out of the bowl. So I'm going to dig deep with my scraper, pull that out, and it's a bit of a lump, as you'll see, a bit of stick going on, which is, it's all good. It's all good. And this is it with dough. It's just all about, you've got what you've got, and you've got to kind of handle it confidently if you can. See if I can move that like this. Actually, do you know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to close these blinds, otherwise you're not going to see what I'm doing. All you're going to see, and that's not going to be any good, is it? All you're going to see is the sunlight. So what I'm going to do is going to get rid of this, give my hands a quick wash, and I'm going to have to readjust that camera so we can see what we're doing. Let the dog see the rabbit, as they say. So yeah, let's get it up a bit higher, I think. Put it about there. We all right? I'll pull it this way. So all I'm going to do is, like I said before, I'm going to use this as my scraper. And I use the analogy like a wallpaper scraper, because when you're scraping wallpaper or anything like that, or even if you just clean and muck off something, you do it with a bit of confidence, don't you? You don't just go like that. You kind of, you go at it with some confidence, because you're trying to you're trying to move it, you're trying to scrape it off. So all we're trying to do with this is we're trying to scrape it into a neat kind of ball. And like I keep on saying, I'll say over and over again for those that don't know, but for those who've heard it, please bear with me, because it's just worth repeating. This now becomes the top, which will form like a skin on the surface. And what we're trying to do is we're creating it into a ball, tucking it in on itself. That's what you'll see the process I'm kind of using to do that. And it's to put some tension around the door, so when it rises like a balloon, it's going to rise evenly because it's got a bit of tension there, rather than a big floppy thing that just goes all over the place. Excuse the sound effects, but they were for free. Won't do it again. So this is all I'm going to do. Is I'm going to scrape it into this. Start the washing up. Scrape it into this kind of tidy ball. And you'll see I'm kind of going from one side, and then I'll go from the other side, and then I'll go from this side, and kind of as it looks a little bit misshaped, like it's misshaped, I'll scrape this side in, and eventually what you'll find is it starts getting a little bit smoother on the top, and eventually you'll be able to kind of handle it as a ball. It's a little bit wet at the minute. And even for me, what I'd say is, and I've said this over and over again, when it gets like that and you feel it's a little bit too tacky to handle, because there's technique involved, just walk away for 10 minutes. Just leave it. Just walk away, leave it for 10 minutes. And when you come back, it'll have formed a bit of a more of a skin on the top. And then if you try it after 10 minutes, you say, oh, it's still too sticky. I'll give it another 10 minutes. Go and have a cup of tea. Come back. Be all right eventually. You leave it, eventually be a solid lump. So at some point it's going to definitely form a skin on the top. So here we go. So all I'm doing now, getting ready for the ball. So I'm scraping round, and once I get to a point where, and I'm going to do this a little bit quick for my sake, is I kind of got this little method, I call it rock and roll, which is like scraping the ball door from one side, like that, picking it up and tipping it over, and eventually it's too sticky even for me for doing that. Yeah, that's fair enough. What we'll do is we'll just keep on with this method, and eventually we'll get to the point where it's smooth on the top. When I say smooth, it's not going to be smooth because you've got the current sticking out. Sultanas even. So I'll just keep this method going. I'm going round this side, round that side. I can feel it now with my knuckles, now as I'm doing it. Now it's drier on the top. Underneath it's still wet. That's why you get these scrapey bits. So I won't keep on trying to do that method, because I don't think it's going to be as successful in the time frame that I've got. I'm not going to have you stood here all day, but I mean, that's it now. Once it's smooth on top, once it's that, you know, a smooth shape, good, it's all good. All I'm going to do is scrape that underneath, pop it in the bowl, Bob's your uncle, and I'm going to stick a shower cap over the top, and that's now going to rest for between 1-2 hours, probably between 1.5 and 2. And that's a 2 litre bowl, and that will be doming as probably as something as it looks now, a bit more a dome, bit more than that. And I'll show you when it's ready. We'll move on to the stage of shaping and then doing the proving. But for now, that's going to rest and grow. So we'll see you soon. Bye for now.